what is it that makes a successful Christmas advert, and what do we love about them so much? Well, I'm joined by Katie Skingle, who is marketing director at Cat Marketing, who is also crazy about all things Christmas adverts. Katie, thank you so much for coming on.
Good morning, Alice. And yes, I am. I'm in the spirit. I can't wait for all the seasonality.
Good. Me and you both. Tell me, what is your favourite Christmas ad of all time? What one do you think is the one to beat?
Oh, that's really hard. But I have to say, I mean, obviously Coca-Cola is an absolute classic, because if you can repeat something for that number of years, then you really hit the mark. I really enjoyed when they created that mini movie 2 years ago as well, with the father's letter home. So I think as a brand, Coca-Cola just have it when it comes to Christmas. I mean, they changed an entire thought process toward Christmas. You don't really get anything better than that. They are the masters.
I don't know if it's like one of those facts that people share and they aren't actually true, but I feel like I've heard many times that like the Santa that we picture actually comes from the Coca-Cola adverts, like his red suit and stuff.
Yeah, completely right. I mean, they just decided that they were going to change the face of how we viewed Christmas. They are responsible for how we feel about the Christmas visuals today. So, there's no denying what you've got to always doff your cap to them. But and also the holidays are coming. I mean, that truck, every time I see it, I'm happy. So, I mean, they can bring that out every year.
It's interesting to see the ones that then become the ones that you get super excited for, because there is one that you're like, oh, the Coca-Cola advert's here, that means that Christmas has started. The other one is John Lewis, and I think my favourite Christmas advert, if I had to pick one, was a John Lewis one from years ago, and it was a wee boy who was like impatient for Christmas Day. You could see that he was just like going to bed early every night. He just really, really wanted it to be Christmas. And then on Christmas morning, you kind of presumed it's because he wanted to open his presents, but it wasn't. It's because he wanted to give the presents to his mum and dad. And I think the tagline was something like, for presents you can't wait to give. And even like all these years later, that has really stayed in my mind. What is it about a Christmas advert that can really stay with you?
So John Lewis are incredibly well versed at weaving a narrative into their Christmas adverts that really resonate a brand message and values that they're trying to get across. They use several agencies over the years. They've had a very good relationship with Adam and Eve, Deep and B, and they've moved to Saatchi & Saatchi for the last few years. And I think the way that they craft their storylines, we really want to feel an emotional connection when we're watching any kind of campaign or advert or story or movie, and to have that kind of heartfelt storytelling where there's a bit of a twist. You can't be overly sentimental, but something that makes us feel, something relatable, something with a situation where you can really understand that child was desperate to give something back to their parents because they've enjoyed the presents that they've had from their mum and dad. I mean, it's just a lovely, lovely story, that, and they do it time and time again. Give Knowingly is obviously the thing that we're waiting for this year, but they've obviously built on Never Knowingly Undersold and the Live Knowingly campaign called The Window, which was only a couple of months ago to sell their 100 years. So I'm really looking forward for their advert to drop, as I am every year. It's the one to watch, and it's quite late for them. They'd released it by this time last year, and it's not coming out till next Thursday, is it? And they've released a couple of 10-second teasers. They had a 30-second teaser, which gives us an idea of where they're going with it. It's going to be another tearjerker, I feel. So I'd prepare yourself, Alice, because if the little boy giving something to his parents made you feel something, I feel we've got another cracker coming up.
And when did Christmas adverts become this much of an event? I mean, like, you're talking about the release date for an advert and teasers for an advert, and it is one of those things. My mum is a huge fan of Kevin the Carrot as well, so like as soon as that one came out, she sent me the YouTube, and people are watching just on YouTube the adverts, not even stumbling across them as they're watching TV. When did this start to be as big a thing as it is now?
I think it's because we're so used to watching TikToks and Reels and the online movement of watching short form content, that seeing ads drop teasers in advance to build anticipation, that was a natural thing that would be taking place for the release of their ads. But when the idea of creating a memorable Christmas ad, that's been for quite a few years now. It's built really since John Lewis, I think, have been known for that kind of early release of something that we all look forward to. If you can tell your mum, I'm a big fan of Kevin the Carrot and the Aldi adverts as well, because that's another great example of, they've built on things, they've kept the characters. It's a bit like, with Compare the Meerkat, that's been running for years and years and years as a normal advert campaign. But for Christmas, you're thinking when Kevin's got a Katie now, hasn't he? So as long as they keep coming up with the storylines for their characters, Aldi, I think, will continue to run with those particular characters for a while, because they work. And all you need to do is add a good storyline to them. People love them. Me too. And your mum.
And with my business hat on, all these adverts are so enjoyable, especially when we've got, celebrities that we love, like Nigella Lawson and Dawn French popping up. We've got the emotion, we've got carrots with personalities. But how much does a good Christmas advert actually translate into these businesses doing well at this time of year? Or is it more you kind of have to be in it to win it, that if you don't have a good one, that counts against you?
So everybody approaches that differently. I think for some of the bigger brands, they have to be in it to win it, because it's really about establishing, as I say, getting their values across for the year. But there are businesses that obviously also are looking for the sales immediately. I always prefer something as an advert that's kind of getting across what you want to get across. But TK Maxx is a great example this year, I think, of where they've really gone for the sale, because it's a Christmas message for the cost of living crisis. There's no denying when they brought back their farm animals that they're really, the message of that very short advert is buy your loved ones big brands cheap. And that's what they've chosen to go to get across. But things like Waitrose, which is my favourite advert so far, and I do wonder whether that's why John Lewis had delayed a little bit this year, to allow their sort of sibling the ability to step forward into the limelight potentially. But that has focused on a product which is their number one dessert, the Red Velvet Bauble dessert. Well, there will be a huge group of people that absolutely resonate with that advert. I mean, it's helped by a stellar cast with Matthew McFadden and Joe Wilkinson and an all number of people that make me feel I want to understand who is this festive whodunit? Who is the person that's done that?
It's like a bit of a mystery, isn't it? That the dessert's gone missing and they're trying to work out who's stolen it. Is for if anyone hasn't seen it yet, that is the plot of it, that this amazing dessert's gone, but who stole it? And like you say, I watched it and the thing I left with was like, oh, I really want a little slice of that now. So you can see how these then seep into our subconsciousness. Well, Katie,
I'm not going in just to buy it, Alice, and I'm going in for my full shop.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, Katie, it's been amazing having you on. I'm going to enjoy the John Lewis advert when it comes even more now, with all the knowledge that you've given me. That is the amazing Katie Skingle, who is marketing director at Cat Marketing, getting us excited for all those Christmas ads that are starting to pop up on our tellies.